All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something I find absolutely fascinating. We're unpacking this really clever educational resource called Sunny's Guide to Healthy Habits and Growth. Basically, it takes the super complex science of cognitive development and, well, it shrinks it right down so kids can actually grasp it. We're going to look at how this awesome character named Sunny helps kids build better brains. It's a fantastic curriculum, so let's just jump right in. But hey, before we even meet our guide, Sunny, or get into the nuts and bolts of how this all works, I want to start by asking you a question. And actually, this is the exact word-for-word question they pose to the young learners in this program. Ready? Which ones give your brain happy signals? I mean, really think about that phrasing for a second. It doesn't ask, hey, what's the right thing to do or what are the rules? No, it asks about happy signals in the brain. It completely changes the game. It frames behavior not as this strict, boring discipline, but as a biological, totally positive response. It literally puts the learner right in the driver's seat of their own brain chemistry. How cool is that? So you're probably wondering, what exactly is this program? Well, Sunny's Guide to Healthy Habits and Growth is this highly targeted educational resource. It introduces this super relatable character, Sunny, right? And Sunny's whole job is to help kids figure out the difference between positive and negative behaviors. But, and here's the kicker, it goes way beyond just lecturing kids on what to do. It's specifically designed to connect those tiny, everyday good choices with actual healthy brain growth. By giving this whole journey a friendly face, personifying it through Sunny, the curriculum gives kids this safe, really engaging little companion to help them navigate the very real, sometimes tricky world of personal development. Now, the entire curriculum revolves around this incredibly interactive mini activity called Let's Sort Our Habits. And I gotta say, this is definitely not passive learning. Sunny doesn't just stand there pointing at a chalkboard lecturing the students. Instead, Sunny actively encourages the kids to look at visual examples and actually sort them out themselves. Sorting is such a fundamental cognitive skill for children anyway, so by applying it to their own habits, they're basically forced to stop, really look at an action and actively categorize it. It's brilliant, really. It takes these abstract behavioral concepts, which can be super fuzzy for a kid, and turns them into a tangible, interactive game. Okay, so during this sorting activity, Sunny presents 3 highly specific scenarios. Number 1, sharing a toy. Number 2, reading a book. And number 3, leaving a mess, which, let's be real, is a scenario I am absolutely sure every parent out there is intimately familiar with, right? The beauty here is that the curriculum doesn't use vague, high-level, pie-in-the-sky concepts. No, it uses the exact, everyday, messy situations a child actually encounters in their own living room or classroom. By putting these specific examples side by side, Sunny is asking the kids to actively evaluate the actions. They literally have to make a judgment call on things they do every single day. And you know what's genuinely fascinating to me here? It's the stark contrast they create between helpful actions and unproductive habits. On one hand, you've got what the source material calls beneficial mental signals, so the sharing toys or the reading. But on the exact opposite side, it contrasts those with unproductive habits, specifically calling out that mess leaving we just talked about. And I just absolutely love the terminology they use here. It doesn't label leaving a mess as evil or bad or naughty. It just calls it unproductive, meaning it simply does not support your personal development. I mean, wow, right? Talk about an incredibly empowering way to reframe childhood behavior. So the simple act of sorting things out, it actually serves a much, much larger purpose. The source material explicitly points out that this whole presentation is designed to help young students understand the literal link between good choices and healthy brain growth. It's taking these micro actions, like, just picking up a toy or opening a picture book, and linking them directly to macro benefits in their cognitive development. It teaches the child that their brain is exactly like a muscle, and those little everyday choices they make, that's the essential exercise that helps that brain grow strong and healthy. Which actually brings us right to Sunny's exact speaker notes from the curriculum. Sunny asks the kids, "Can you find the good choices?" and then totally reinforces the lesson by stating, loud and clear, sharing and reading give your brain happy signals. Leaving a mess doesn't help your brain grow. It is so simple, but it perfectly cements the idea that kids have direct control over their own mind's happy signals. It basically creates this vivid, super memorable catchphrase for the kids to carry around with them. Like every single time they share, they can literally visualize those little happy signals firing off in their growing brains. Ultimately, all of this builds a foundation that transitions what seems like a simple little sorting game into a lifelong guide for establishing meaningful daily routines. The source material really emphasizes that this isn't just about, passing a quick quiz today. It's about laying down the tracks for tomorrow, for next week, and honestly, for next year. By giving kids this specific vocabulary of happy signals and brain growth, Sunny is equipping them with an internal compass, and that's a compass they can use to evaluate their habits for the absolute rest of their lives. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I actually want to leave you reflecting on your own routines for a second. Sure, Sunny might be a curriculum built for children, but come on, the underlying psychology applies to every single one of us. So ask yourself, how do your simple daily choices lead to your own personal development and healthy brain growth? Whether you are 5 years old or 50, your brain is still responding to your habits. So maybe consider your own sorting activity today. What unproductive habits are kind of slowing you down right now? And, much more importantly, what actions are you taking right now that are sending those happy signals right to your brain? Think about it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.